Hello, my wonderful listeners, and welcome to another episode of the Psychic Explorer. Happy New Year. Can you believe it's 2026 already? I'm not sure I can. It seems like the older I get, the quicker time goes by. I really hope you have enjoyed your festive period. No matter what you have or haven't done, I hope it has left you feeling full, satisfied, and if anything like me, a couple of kilos heavier. I can't quite believe the amount of food I have gotten through and still need to get through. We were gifted very generous gifts this year, including 3 separate hampers, plus I came home from the in-laws with a lot of wine, a lot of cheese, and a lot of chutneys and pâtés. And my word, my other half has said, right, we need to get ourselves sorted out for the new year. And I'm like, well, we've got to eat all this stuff first because you can't let it go to waste. So I think I might get a bit fatter, or at least put on a couple of more kilos before I even think about getting back into some sort of shape. But still, what a time it has been. And I want to say thank you to all of you lot who are listening and who have listened. It's a small community that we have here. I said this in previous episodes in the weeks gone by. It is a small community, but I really feel like I'm talking to friends, and I feel like I am getting more confident with this podcasting, and I hope that is coming across to you. I am very conscious that since Halloween and the festive period, my episodes have gone a little bit off kilter than what they normally do. I've not spoken as much about my mediumship, my psychic journey as I usually do. Instead, it's been focused on guests, paranormal investigations, your wonderful stories, which I've really enjoyed, but I am conscious that the point of this podcast is that it's a true reflection on the experiences that I have as I've stepped down this path, and hopefully answer questions that you might have if you are yourself stepping onto this path. So I was a bit unsure as to how to approach this episode because in January, there are actually 3 release dates. So my episodes, if you're a regular listener, you will know that my episodes go out every other Thursday. So every 2 weeks on a Thursday morning, or if you're in the US, a Wednesday afternoon / evening. And I thought to myself, well, we've had quite a few special episodes already. What do I do for New Year's? Do I do like a meditation, New Year's meditation? Do I do an episode focused on resolutions? Do I do an episode on something that I have experienced recently? Or do I just not put something out at all? And I thought, no, I'm going to do something. So this episode is about looking forward. However, in order to look forward, we need to look back. Resolutions, I'm personally not a fan of New Year's resolutions. I think we are setting ourselves up for failure. Mostly because most resolutions are something which are unrealistic. They are goal orientated. And New Year's can be about making a change, wiping the slate clean. But we all know that no matter how much we clean that slate, stuff from the previous year, from previous years, still comes through, and it's important to address that. And they say that 90% of mediumship is personal work, working through your own traumas, working through your own shadow. And I think that is the same with New Year's. We need to reflect back on what we have come through in order to look forward to the new challenges, to the new excitements, to whatever it might be. This is not a resolutions episode, however. This is not about fixing or improving. This is a pause. It is a reflection. It is a soft landing into the new year. I think the New Year's is full of pressure. I remember growing up and my mum always used to say, it's so anticlimactic. So she just used to go to bed. I always used to go out and I was used to try and have such a good time. And it was almost like I had so much expectation that New Year's Eve was going to be magical and fascinating and interesting, and so much stuff was going to happen. And then when midnight came, it was like, oh, is that it? It almost feels like, when it's your birthday, when you hit midnight on your birthday, you think, oh, I'm a year older, and you feel exactly the same as you did 30 seconds before. There's so much pressure for New Year's to be something it is not. people see it differently as well. And I feel that sometimes we can be made to feel a bit guilty about not seeing it the same way as other people. Some people absolutely love it. They go out and have an amazing time. They set off fireworks, they sing, they dance. For others, it marks another year of grief, another year of emotional heaviness, another year of exhaustion. And so, although I'm not going to do a meditation for this episode, I do want you to use this as an opportunity to reset your energy and just for a moment, slow down. I invite you, my wonderful listeners, if it's safe for you to do so, just close your eyes just for a moment or two. And I invite you to pause, breathe slowly, and settle into yourself. If it feels right to you, you might want to take a pen and paper. There's absolutely no pressure to write anything down. So if nothing comes to mind, then don't worry. Or if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. Just have a think about these prompts that I'm going to suggest you have a reflection on. But feel free to pause this episode if you need to. These prompts are not about analysing your life. They are invitations. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I would like you to reflect without judgment. Think back on 2025. What made you happy? What made you sad? What made you laugh? What made you cry? What moments from 2025 still feel emotionally loud to you? What landed in your lap that you did not expect? Where did you show up, even when it was hard? I want you to think about what you learned about yourself in 2025. What patterns did you start to notice? What are you more aware of now than a year ago? For me, this year has been challenging. I know I said this at the end of last year, but it has been challenging. My family life has shifted quite dramatically. Someone that was in the forefront of my family is no longer. We've taken a step back from one another. And as painful as that was, as it is, I have had to reflect on my actions, on my words, as well as hold grace for their feelings and accept that as valid as their feelings are, there's also validity in where I feel they are wrong. I used to be very much of the mindset that if somebody had done me wrong, then it was them, it was all them. I didn't have to look at myself. I now know different. I now know better. I now know that we are both to blame for this upset. I don't know if that person has come to the same conclusion. I doubt it. But I also have, again, using that word again, that grace. I have grace that time is a healer. But actually at the moment, we probably just need time away from each other. With everything that you have thought about just there, with everything you have journaled about, have a think about moving forward. Without goals, these are not goal-orientated, and these are not resolutions, but just holding what you have just been thinking about. What do you want to carry forward into the new year? What are you ready to leave behind? And what would it look like to trust yourself a little more this year? Have a think about those, because if you know your history, you will know that the Roman god Janus, which is where we get the word January. Janus had two faces. One was looking forward and one was looking back, and that very much resonates with me. For me, it almost feels counterintuitive to say, oh, we are on the 1st of January, therefore it's a new year, therefore it's a new beginning. Because that's ignoring the past year, stroke years, that we have just lived through. It's not humanly possible to be able to just wipe the slate clean. If we don't tackle the things that have troubled us in the past, then they're going to crop up again in the future. Think of the sweeping it under the carpet analogy. It might be out of sight for the moment, but you will trip up on it at some point in the future. I'm going to do one more thing in this episode, and that's pull a card. This card is not a prediction. This is a theme that I'm going to try and take forward for the rest of this year. And I'm using the Inner Child deck of cards. These are large cards. If you haven't got these, or if you haven't heard of these, have a little Google. They're lovely cards. They're sort of based on nursery rhyme. There we go, I have that one. I love how these cards just work out. I think it's every time I pull a card, I'm always blown away with the symbolism and the relevance of it. I will post a picture of this card on my Instagram, so look out for that at the.psychic.explorer. But this card, around the edge of it, features many symbols, and I interpret these symbols to be one of slowness, one of just slowing down. There's no need to rush. We can take things in our stride with the knowledge that from small acorns to big oak trees grow, and that does not happen overnight. The oak tree is a tree that takes its time, but as it does grow slowly, it grows strong. And I wonder if we were able to ask a fully grown oak tree, and as I say this to you, I am looking out of my back bedroom window onto a row of huge Old English oak trees, and I wonder what they have witnessed. If we were to go back when that oak tree was planted, or when the oak tree sprouted from its shell of an acorn, what the world was like. This card is also lined on the left and right with mushrooms. To me, mushrooms are something to be enjoyed. They are something natural, something to be savoured. But they thrive on decay. They thrive on what was. And again, as I reflect on this, I look back on the situations I have found myself in that have not been pleasant, but that I have grown from, that have taught me lessons to be able to go forward and be a better person. This card features a Christmas tree. It features a hearth with an open fire with stockings and a garland over it. And again, I just, the relevance of it for this time of year, I can't believe I'm pulling it. This card, out of all the cards in this pack, I can't believe I have pulled this card for this time of year, for this reading. You know, I've had to pause this recording a couple of times because this card really stumped me. I didn't know what it was saying. I couldn't read anything into it. It was just this card that featured a Christmas tree, children opening presents, apparently parents preparing a fire and putting a stocking up. And I was like, what is this? I got the outside bits, but couldn't get the inside. I was like, what's it trying to say to me? And it just suddenly struck me that Christmas is a time of giving and receiving. As we go forward into the new year, prepare to accumulate. Prepare to accumulate more wisdom. Prepare to accumulate more things. But also hold that feeling of Christmas in your heart the whole year round. Without sounding too Muppets Christmas Carol about this, but go forward into the year with Christmas in your heart, and give and love and be prepared to receive and be prepared to give at various moments throughout the year. whether that be knowledge, whether that be materialistic things, whether that be family or friends or people. At Christmas, we are taught to, at least it's in the culture, that we should have more grace for people, have more patience for people, be kinder to people, give to charity. And I feel like the more we seem to go on, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or not, but the more we seem to go on, the less that is a thing. Christmas is becoming more of an insular thing. We look inwards, we look towards our immediate circle. We don't necessarily look outwards. I think for me, that's how I'm going to interpret this card, to try and live my life throughout 2026, to try and have more grace, to try and give more, to be more generous, to try and receive. When people give me a compliment, when people tell me that they enjoy my podcast, when people tell me that my readings are good, to take that and to not try and dismantle it or make excuses for it, or try and do those very British things that we do, or that I do, because to receive praise is not something that I, and I'm sure many of my fellow country people, find easy to do. Try to live comfortably. Try to live in a way that invites others to join you, that compels, that makes other people want to participate in your life, or at least in the way that you live your life. I'm going to leave that one there. I struggled a bit with that one. And maybe it's because I'm still full of cheese and chutney and pate. So my brain is not working as much. It's a bit bogged down by all this amazing Christmas food. So I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you so much for listening to this New Year's Day edition. It's not quite what I had in mind, but I'm hoping that reading left you feeling soothed. I don't want you to try and go searching for answers. If it resonated with you, great. If it doesn't, just see what happens going forward. You don't need clarity today. What I suggest you may need is rest, gentleness, patience, and kindness to yourself. If all you take away from this episode today is permission to move slowly, then that is enough. If you are the type of person who has gone out and got razzled and enjoyed the New Year's evenings, then I congratulate you. Happy New Year to you. If you are the type of person that raises a glass to the midnight hour and acknowledges it quietly, then I raise a glass to you in return. Or if you are the type of person who would rather go to bed and wake up to a new year, a new beginning, then absolutely. As my mum used to do, go and fill your house with freshly cut flowers on New Year's Day to celebrate the New Year's. Just a note for going forward with the Psychic Explorer. I just want to let you know that we'll be returning back to the old format of solo episodes where I share with you my experiences. I have got something very exciting, slightly terrifying happening in January. Nicola Gigi, who runs the Norfolk Spiritual Centre, she has invited me to run my very first I don't like using the word service because it implies religion, which is not me at all, but to hold a mediumship platform event at her centre in Norwich. And that will be happening on Tuesday, the 13th of January. So I think that's just in time for my solo episode. So I'm going to try and talk about that for that episode. And then at the end of January, we have got Robert Lomax speaking about, what will Robert be speaking about? He'll be speaking about the beings which he channels, the beings which he takes inspiration, takes guidance from. And as much as Robert is interested in spirituality and mediumship, I think it's fair to say his main passion is sharing the information he receives from benevolent beings on other planes of existence. I know it sounds really woo-woo, and I was a little bit unsure as to how I was going to approach this one. But it's an interesting one, and I do think it's another facet in this whole world that I'm exploring. So we will be going back to the more traditional in future months, but Robert's episode is a really interesting one. So wherever you sit on that spectrum of belief, I encourage you to have a listen to it. It's really interesting. It's interesting, and I recorded that with him face to face. It's my very first face to face recording of an interview with a guest rather than doing it over the internet, so it has a slightly different feel. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. In February, for the Valentine's episode, I also have Kim Charlson. Kim Charlson is a voice channeler. She is able to channel her guide, and I have a conversation with not only Kim but also her guide Monty. Then in March we have Anne-Marie Pisano, and she talks to me about her discovery and exploration of her psychic and mediumship gifts. I've got a few people lined up for interviews for the new year as well. So if you would like to share your experiences, if you would like to talk to me about how you started on this road, your honest experiences, your doubts, your concerns, the joys, let me know. Reach out to me. You can find me at the.psychic.explorer. You can find me at Instagram, Threads, and Facebook. So I look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you. I'm sending you all my love. And again, Happy New Year. Take care, guys. Bye.